One of the most common questions is, what is the best fat loss diet for me? And what I want to take you through in this episode is what is going to be the best meal plan, the best foods, the best way to structure what you're eating and what that diet is for you to be able to get into the best shape, for you to easily be able to lose the unwanted weight. And really when it comes down to you and your body, because you have your own metabolism, your own genetics, your own hormonal environment, and even the lifestyle that you're living, all these factors come into play, and why you can't just follow someone else's diet. You can't just follow a cookie cutter plan and expect great results. So let's go through what is going to bring you the body that you want. One of the first places we can look at when it comes to your body type is a somatotype. We have three different, and you don't have to get too much into the nitty gritty, but we have an mesomorph, an ectomorph, and an endomorph, and we'll cover this later, and I'll have a full article taking you through that right now. But what I want to get to the crux of in this episode, so you're walking away from this being able to make the right decisions, understanding what is going to be the best foods for me, what are going to be the best meals for me, what are going to be the right workouts that are going to suit you. Because if you're frustrated from following diet, staying strict, or working hard, making sure you get your workouts in and not seeing the results that you know that you should be having, then this is what it's for. One of the other key critical aspects about what's going to suit you and why your hormonal environment, your metabolism is the way that it is if you're a male or a female. Now, there's obviously dramatic differences on a hormonal basis, what's going on inside. That means you're going to have a different reaction to the foods, to the meals, to the way that you train, to the supplements, to the lifestyle that you're currently living. All these things are coming into effect, and why when you start actually understanding the range of what these differences are, we can really start making a lot easier for you. And this is exactly why I pieced together the My Body quiz, so I could give you the best starting platform. Then from easily having that platform, I can walk you through those steps, understanding of what changes do you need to make. All right, have you hit a weight loss plateau? If you have, then what do you do from there? Do I start eating less, taking foods away? Or do I start eating more? Or training less, doing things completely opposite to what the usual mainstream media is trying to tell you when it comes to getting in shape? Now I want to link two different things when it comes to, say, the somatotype, what we were just saying before with the endomorph, ectomorph, and mesomorph, and also your carb tolerance. Now let's think of it right now. Are you somebody that when you even just look at some carbs, you might be putting on a little bit of extra weight? Or are you someone that can absolutely stuff your face full of carbohydrates and you just can't gain weight? You're finding it really hard to actually be able to gain the weight that you want. Now, carb tolerance is a really important part of this. You'll find that the ectomorphs will fall under the type of being higher carb tolerance. They're the ones that are going to be struggling to lose weight, but also they can be the ones that kind of fall under the skinny fat scenario of not really being overweight or obese or anything, but holding a little bit of extra unwanted weight. Now, what comes onto the other side is a mesomorph, and this is someone that has a lower carb tolerance and isn't able to get away with really eating, splurging on too many carbohydrates. I'll be perfectly honest, I think I'm someone that falls somewhere in between an ectomorph and a mesomorph. I'm not that fantastic, and really, to tell you the truth, because I have gotten into the right habits, I have been able to stick with a plan for years now, I've been able to get my carb tolerance a lot higher. But I have to be smart about it. By no means do I have great genetics when it comes to getting in shape, especially because I was a really overweight child, and so I had to really unlearn so many of the habits and behaviors that I was in, and now on a day-to-day basis I can stay much leaner, I can stay shape year round without really having to struggle or think about it. And this is exactly what I want to bring to you, understanding where you're at with your body type, having that starting foundation, and then being able to build upon it. You know, okay, I can start introducing more carbohydrates, I'm still starting to lose weight, or where should my fat intake be as well? These are the things that we can go around. So let's say with and endomorph, what's going to happen is you're going to have a lower carb tolerance, which really means your protein intake is always going to be about universal. It's always pretty average, or between those three different body types, we can say protein will stay fairly flat line and it's not going to really change. Once you get your adequate protein intake, we can just leave it there. Let's really look at what's going to be happening with your carbs and with your fats. So starting off, your ectomorph is going to have higher carbohydrates and lower fat. So the ratios will actually come around. Now, obviously, With an endomorph, you're going to be flipped the other way around. What you're going to have is a higher fat intake and lower carbohydrates. But again, no one's going to be a perfect one sits inside one of each of those three. It's not going to happen. There's going to be a ratio. You're going to swing and change. And this is also why your training and your nutrition need to come together. And this is why your training and your nutrition needs to come together to be able to work. Because if you are more active, you have a job that means you're doing more. Or say like me, being a personal trainer for 12 years, I was moving all the time, every single day, carrying weights, going around, being really active, which means my actual food intake and everything was a lot higher. Now I don't do that. I'm not in the gym every single day working. I'm only in the gym to train myself. So when I'm actually being so much more sedentary and I'm actually sitting down in my office at the desk or standing at my stand-up desk, it's still really not that fantastic. I'm not doing a lot more movement. So that means my food intake has had to come down to match those requirements. So let's just break this down now into two simple paths that you can go down. One, you're carb tolerant, and the other, you're not carb tolerant. So if you are carb tolerant, let's say for a male, you're gonna start with 2 palm size of proteins in a meal. Then you're gonna have 2 cupped hands of a carbohydrate dense food, which can be rice or sweet potato, quinoa, beans, something along those lines. And then you're also going to include 2 fistfuls of being able to have really good fibrous vegetables in the meal as well. Now, I'll pop a link below so you understand the full portion guide taking you through this as well. But let's say on the flip of it, you're not that carbohydrate tolerant. So what do you do then? What you can do is actually go same protein sizes as what we did before. So for a male, it can be 2 palm sizes. For the carbohydrates, you would start off with half a cupped hand. Then what you would want to do is have 2 fistfuls of fibrous vegetables, because you can't be a salad dodger and you've got to get your veggies in, but then you're also going to be able to increase your fats. So with the carb tolerant person, you'll say only So then with the carb tolerant person, you're going to stick with say 1 thumbful of fat that can be on your meal, which can be olive oil, your avocados, your nuts, those good sources. Now say if you're not carbohydrate tolerant, you can go from 2 to 3 portion sizes of those fats in your meal. So you'll see here that I'm not going through the gymnastic math of trying to figure out ratios with your macronutrients or your macronutrient numbers, or even we're not counting calories here. We're simply putting a really easy to follow system in place where you can look at your meal every single time and understand how much you're going to be getting in. And this is something I'm going to be delving really deep into, and also I'll pop a link below so you can start and take the My Body quiz now, and I'll give you access to the full coaching guides of understanding what it is that you can start going through. So there's no fuss, there's no confusion as you go through each day, and you know that the meals you're eating, 1, they're really nourishing you, and 2, you're actually being able to follow through with it, and it's going to start getting you to burn off the unwanted weight or to shape the body that you want. So then this really can boil down to a basic 4 steps that you can start following through right now. So starting off and understanding where is your metabolic rate off right now? Where is your body type and your metabolism? Then understanding the second step is just having a baseline of what's the adequate protein that you can be having at each meal and each day. The third step is understanding what's the difference between fats and carbohydrates going to be for yourself. Are you going to start off with being able to have slightly lower carbohydrates and higher fats? Maybe this can be a really good reset phase, something that I actually do in the 7-day kickstart diet that I'll actually pop a link below. You can do it for free. Or on the flip side, are you more carbohydrate tolerant? You know that you can eat carbs and you need to be able to eat carbs to feel good, but also to be able to stay in shape as well. And so what you can be doing then is having that mix. And the fourth step is the most important step, and this is being able to make the right changes. This is why I can't give you a one piece of paper diet and say, hey, follow this and you're going to be able to get from the body shape that you're right in all the way to your ultimate dream body. It's not going to happen. There's going to be progressions. The way you lose weight isn't this steady decline of just being able to do it. Even so, what so many people do is they just start taking food away. They start eating less carbs, eating less carbs, eating less carbs, and then really start taking other, like say, fats away, or just trying to eat less calories all the way. Or they start doing the opposite. They start actually increasing their exercise and they just go up and up and up and up. And what happens in that case is you end up someone following a really low calorie diet with a really high extreme weight loss workout, and there's just too much on the plate. And what happens when you do hit a weight loss plateau there? Well, you're kind of stuffed and you actually have to reverse diet, and you got to get someone like me to actually be able to step you through it as well. This is why I call it the secret sauce to you being able to burn body fat and get in shape, and why there's so many factors to answering what is the best fat loss diet for you. Because really, when it boils down, there is no one best fat loss diet. It's going to be a progression. As you change, your physiology changes. As you get older, as your hormonal changes, as you start changing your training, as you start training less or training more. So many different factors, including your lifestyle, come into what's going to answer it. And why the next best step for you right now is to take the My Body quiz, understand then what the next best steps are. I'm going to give you free access into the diet, into the workouts, and more importantly, into the guide to be able to walk you through that. Because I know if you start actually applying and following through with a few of the key, critical, simple steps, you're going to be able to watch your body change from week to week. So click the link below, make sure you go through it, join the community that I'll give you access to as well to be able to ask your questions and even have me happily jump in and answer them for you. And as always, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. Now it's time for you to get the most out of this and comment below. This is where I will personally come in and give you the answers that you need. And as always, the best discussions happen over at mybodyblend.com. This is where I can give you all the guides, programs, and insights that I can't fit in these episodes. Plus the free diets and workouts are there waiting for you now. And if you did like this episode, then be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode and I can send them straight to you. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon here and in the My Body Blends only community.